So what is it you want to talk about?
I do have a couple of things in mind. जो मुझे यहाँ पे मतलब यहाँ पे आने के बाद जो थोड़ा I don't know bother कर रही है या फिर are taking a lot of headspace or are keeping me distracted from the things that I think are important. And I don't know how to sort of begin with that topic. I think it's a need for sort of, I mean, I have a very, I have a need for affection. I continuously feel the need for affection from other people, or, some kind of, I feel like I want to feel loved by someone else and feel their affection towards me. And because of that, I continuously keep on looking for, I don't know, someone to date or someone to, be romantically involved with. And it takes a lot of my time and a lot of my headspace. और मुझे पता नहीं, मुझे थोड़ा लगता है कि मैं समझ नहीं पाया उस चीज को कि मतलब how do I look at that? How do I
And what happens like when you've been in a relationship, or I don't know what you mentioned about once, and what happens when you find that love and affection, and then what happens to you, what happens in the relating, then I think one of your relationships that I know of didn't last. What happened? Like, is there a pattern that you see, or what? Anything you want to share based on the past?
I mean, yeah, when I have dated someone or been with someone, so I don't know, it feels, but this need does get satisfied for some time. Because then I have someone I can ask for affection from, or there is intimacy and whatever there जो भी चीजें चाहिए होती है, there is someone else that you can ask and get those things from. And so I don't know, there's a kind of satisfaction from that, but I have noticed कि even when I do get that from someone else, तब भी थोड़ा मतलब कुछ रहता है दिल में या कुछ दिमाग में रहता है फिर भी कि अच्छा अभी भी I don't really feel satisfied. मतलब वो एक मोमेंट के लिए दे देता है satisfaction, but फिर नेक्स्ट मोमेंट में फिर से लगता है अच्छा नहीं, अब शायद कुछ और चाहिए, या फिर शायद इस चीज की कमी नहीं थी, शायद किसी और चीज की कमी थी. तो
और ऐसा भी लगता है कि like supposing वो मिलता है तो then you feel very attached to it, or you feel very emotionally dependent on the person, you feel like sort of clingy. And then there's the other side. Sometimes the other person may want to depend, and then you want to run away and have your space. I mean, do those kind of things also happen?
Yeah, definitely. In the past, that has happened. I get attached. Once I get attached, it becomes a very unhealthy sort of attachment. Like when I get dependent on them emotionally, and then I can't be okay being by myself. Matlab. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's unhealthy, and it's and I see it now also. Like even when I talk to someone and I start to like them, or if I start feeling something for them, the same thing happens. मतलब वो बहुत clinginess सी आ जाती है, या फिर it feels like you don't want to let go of them, or you want to maximize the time you spend with them, or you don't want to
Mm.
तो वो पहले मैं नोटिस नहीं कर पाता था, ये अब मैं नोटिस कर लेता हूँ कि ये हो रहा है, ये डिपेंडेंसी हो रही है। और एंड व्हेनेवर दैट पर्सन गोज अवे, देन आई रियलाइज ओके दैट इन द मोमेंट मैं कितना लॉस्ट हो गया था उस चीज में, कि मतलब वो मेरे
Mm.
साथ थे और मैं एकदम लॉस्ट हो गया था कि अच्छा ये यहीं पे रहे, मतलब ये चीज जाए ना, मतलब आई वांट दिस टू
Mm.
लास्ट फॉर एज लॉन्ग एज इट कैन।
Mm.
So it's like I don't know. It's a weird, very weird thing, like a drug or like I don't know.
Yeah, I think that that's a good explanation. It's it's like a drug. Only
Hmm.
it's a invisible emotional drug.
Yeah.
You want to. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. You want to be wanted, and you want to be wanted for as long as possible. Mm. And and then at some point of time, in spite of being wanted, there is a feeling of dissatisfaction, unfulfillment, and a sort of dependence on being wanted. और दूसरे की तरफ से भी होता है कि वो that person also becomes very clingy or dependent on you.
Yeah, in a way, I think it uh, like differs from person to person. कुछ लोग थोड़े ज़्यादा I think clingy होते हैं,
Mm.
कुछ लोग कम होते हैं. Some people are able to, I don't know, maybe control that feel.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, I do notice it in other people also.
Mm. And then what happens when somebody is trying to be very clingy or dependent on you? How does that impact you?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I get it when they act that way. I
Mm.
understand कि उनकी भी नीड है ये,
Mm.
but I don't know.
Mm. Does it make you feel give you a sense of power that oh you're wanted and someone is dependent on you and
Yeah, it does give me a good feeling. Yeah, I think
uh,
it's like a validation कि अच्छा.
uh, someone needs me.
Yeah.
So that's the based on your past experience of mm, even when you have somebody who gives you that love, affection, attention, actually maybe the right word is attention. Yeah, you feel good, um, and yet it's like sort of a fleeting thing. You feel good and then you want to have more of it, and then you get attached to it and you tend to become dependent on the other person. And then in spite of getting it, then there is not like a case of always feel fulfilled. It's like you get glimpses of fulfillment and then again you don't. um So it's like what do you say? It's like since I'm from Bombay, it's like a bhelpuri. It's some mixed bag. It's like so basically, even if you get somebody, you date somebody, you meet somebody, you whatever, all have a relationship of certain kind, whatever. But then you have already tasted the bhelpuri. So is it the bhelpuri that you want, or is it like your mind has a fantasy or a belief that I want to be loved in a certain way forever? Because bhelpuri to matlab tumne I'm sure you have tasted it more than once, so you know what that bhelpuri. It's not. It's yeah, it gives you some satisfaction, but it comes with its share of dependence, unfulfillment, clinginess. Uh, one could even say toxicity because you're trying to fulfill yourself through somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I want to. So like I'm straight, so I'm attracted to women. तो
Mm.
मुझे अजीब लगता है बहुत whenever I meet someone and I meet a girl and I find her attractive. My mind starts going in that direction. Okay, what if something happens? What if we date? Or I start looking at that person in a different way. I don't look at them as a person anymore. Like I'm not. Uh,
No, you look at them as a prospective partner.
yeah, as a prospective partner, or I don't know, someone who can give me something.
Correct.
So I don't like that. I don't like that perspective that I have. I would want to look at that person as just another person. Like I would want to interact with them with that mindset. But I feel like
Hmm.
वो मेरा mind एकदम से ऐसे take over कर लेता है और फिर
Correct.
तो मुझे
वो
बहुत अजीब लगता है मतलब I don't.
प्रोजेक्ट करता है. Hmm.
हाँ मतलब this is just another human being. I should be able to look at them just as I talk to, I don't know,
Yeah.
anyone else, a guy or a, I don't know.
Yeah. So I think that uh, what do I say? I think the best word is energy. It's an energy in in us which feels key. Yes, I want to be loved by somebody, by one person, who can make me feel special and wanted, and who asks, क्या आज खाना खाया क्या? आज खाने में आज खाने में क्या खाया और क्या कर रहे हो? you know so कुछ something in us feels कि यार हाँ, मतलब something in us feels nice to feel wanted by someone. And I think I wouldn't even say it is unnatural. I think matlab, it's part of being a human being, that
Mhm.
you like to be wanted, you like somebody cares for you, you like somebody mm, values you, sees you as special. So at one level, I would say it's natural. कि हाँ भाई, एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग है बॉडी की नीड्स है. एट अनदर लेवल माइंड है तो माइंड की भी नीड्स है. माइंड की क्या नीड है? आई वांट टू बी respected, I want to be valued, I want to be uh, my needs should be acknowledged, so ये भी माइंड की नीड्स है. तो इन अ वे एट वन लेवल ये जो एक एनर्जी है, टू बी लव, टू हैव अफेक्शन, इज अ नेचुरल एनर्जी. कोई इसमें वो नहीं है कि or to feel intimate with another human being. uh, I think but when our attention gets totally sucked into that energy,
Hmm.
mm, it's like I think that's when it becomes from a natural sort of an energy or need to becoming a sort of a wanting, desiring, seeking, clinging, तो वो एनर्जी, वही एनर्जी जो नॉर्मल और नेचुरल है, वो फिर उसका रूप बदल जाता है. क्योंकि वो नाउ दैट अटेंशन इज लाइक सेइंग, इट्स लाइक we have the body has a natural need when it's hungry to eat food,
Hmm.
and to satiate itself, because that's the way it also survives. But when we start eating food because oh we are feeling low, तो फिर chips खोल दो, चम 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 खाना शुरू करो, and then चलो कुछ cake क्या खाओ or whatever, then it's no longer the need of the body, then it's an emotional need. Then you are eating food to fulfill and satiate your emotions. So from it being a natural need, now it has become, you're using that to 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 full to fill a void that is there in you. So
Hmm.
you're using food to fill a void in you. You're using a relationship to fill a void in you. You're using um, whatever, different people use different things to fill a void in them. Koi shopping jayega, koi pornography dekhega, koi but basically ye hai ki ek sense of emptiness, ek void hai, or I feel that something will fill that void. Now, of course, in your case, like you're saying, I want the love and affection of somebody. To get love and affection is not a unnatural need, but sort of when that love and affection is essentially to fill a void and emptiness, I think then it moves from being natural to you're actually using a relationship, you're using another human being to fill the emptiness in you. You're getting, that's the difference between the
Yeah,
two.
yeah. Get it.
Yeah. So I think rather than sort of look for a relationship for that love and affection to fill that feeling of emptiness inside, because even if you get it, it's not, that feeling of emptiness is not going to go away. वो
Hmm.
कहीं ना कहीं तो रहेगा, एंड देन वो फीलिंग क्लिंगी हो जाएगा, dependent हो जाएगा, it will lose its power, it will become dependent on somebody else, and then फिर दुनिया भर का ड्रामा चलेगा रिलेशनशिप में, ये एक्सपेक्टेशन वो एक्सपेक्टेशन. So from it being a healthy relating, it becomes unhealthy in that sense.
Hmm.
So I think it's much, what do I say? What's the right word? Like, why not explore ये need आ कहाँ से रही है? Because ये need, matlab, there seems to be something inside us which is, it is like emitting this energy. I want love. I want to be liked. I want someone special in my life. I want someone to see me as special. Okay, na kahin se need aa rahi hai. Maybe it's, you can feel that in your chest. Maybe you can feel that in your um, mm, solar plexus. Maybe you can feel that in your abdomen. I don't know, but it's like that energy is getting emitted from somewhere. You're getting somewhere. So, where do you feel that feeling that most predominant? Where do you experience that?
In my body, I haven't really noticed it, like
Hmm.
where it comes from. But yeah, probably from the upper body only, like maybe the chest or maybe the abdomen.
Yeah. So check, where is it, like the sensation, because it's an energy. The
Hmm.
energy is then converting into the story. Oh, I want love, I want affection, I want someone. But वो energy अगर नहीं है predominant, तो फिर वो story नहीं आएगी.
Hmm.
So energy is another word for the sensation. Where is that felt? That that feeling to be wanted, to be loved, to be somewhere, it has to be felt.
Hmm.
So either you can just reflect for a moment and see where do you feel that sensation when you say, okay, I want to be wanted, I want to be loved, I want affection. When you even just say this or hear this, where do you feel that? Uh, where does that sensation
Yeah, it's somewhere in my chest, a little bit below my chest, I think.
A little bit below your chest. Would it be the point where like the chest ends and the abdomen starts? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Like what you call the solar plexus area. Okay, so what's the nature of the sensation? Is it like a throbbing sensation? Is it like it's like a it's like a sensation where as though there's a hole over there? Is there a is that a sensation which is like wanting, longing sensation? What's the quality of that sensation?
So I can feel it here also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think it's a longing or some sort of anticipation, maybe. Uh,
Hmm. So
yeah, like my breath sort of starts to, I don't know, the speed increases. थोड़ा
hmm,
वैसे हो जाता है, like when you feel excited or something like that.
correct. So so there seems to be like some kind of a anticipation, longing. Uh, would the word angst also resonate with it? Angst, like a
Uh, no, I don't think so. I mean, for me, like angst, I give it a bit of a negative connotation.
okay,
But this doesn't feel negative to me. I mean, it's like expecting or looking forward to something good. That kind of feeling.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine. So anticipation, feeling something good. So
Maybe like I mean, it मेरे दिमाग में आया, but maybe when a child sees uh, their mother coming towards them.
hmm, yeah. And actually, it's quite relevant that you're saying that because at the end of the day, uh, mm, for a man, a woman uh, often fulfills the need that in the opposite sex a mother would fulfill, because the mother is the first which gives you that attention, that love, that
Mm.
care, that nurture, that sense of touch, that
Yeah.
sense of warmth, that it gives you a feeling of nourishment, emotional nourishment, that feeling of protection, a feeling of, and I think it's a very, very mm, very क्या बोलेंगे, it starts right from the womb.
Mm.
So that's where we actually felt that warmth, that nourishment, that protection. So in a way, we are all looking, I wouldn't say, I mean, one way of looking at it is that we are all looking for that unconditional mother, but essentially we are all looking for that feeling of unconditional love.
Mm. Yeah.
So it's the anticipation of getting that unconditional love, and like for you from another, or from the opposite sex, and anybody. So, and yet through our experience we know कि वो मिलता तो है but unconditional तो होता नहीं है. मतलब मतलब ऐसा तो कोई है नहीं कि we can crawl back into a womb of warmth and love and nourishment and continue to stay there for the rest of our life and never come out of it. So because that's like the childish fantasy, that's what the child wants, because but
Mm.
the reality is not that. So I think focus on that feeling and sensation, because that feeling and sensation is that energy. It's like an energy which is that like the magnetic, emotional magnetic force which creates the story, which creates the projection, which creates the longing. तो उसका source क्या है? Source ये है, ये energy which is felt in the chest area, which whatever it is.
Mm.
And the unconscious approach is ki you don't even realize. Like when I ask you, do you feel a sensation? So you said, oh, I'm not sure. Then you checked in, then you began to get in touch with that sensation. But most people don't even realize that they have this sensation, and then this sensation is what is the sensation about? And then all they know is, in fact, they don't even know their story. They're constantly just pursuing something unconsciously, and then they just get into one relationship to another relationship, and they're not even knowing what's the root of it. The root of it is my desire to be wanted, to be loved, to be accepted, to be considered special. And what is the source of this energy? There is some kind of feeling and sensation in the chest area or wherever it may be. So I think maturity lies in realizing कि भैया ये प्रोजेक्शन करके या किसी को परस्यू करके ये कोई अल्टीमेट फुलफिलमेंट तो मिलने नहीं वाला है. If I have to find some ultimate fulfillment, then I have to realize that I am complete as I am. If I am not able to find my own completion within me, then no matter whatever I do, I will continue to be incomplete, and I'll continue to carry this fantasy that some relationship, some person, someone will complete me. And then that will continue the cycle of dependence and longing and clinginess and expectation. And then, so whatever that has. So I guess it requires some degree of maturity after having had enough experience to realize that the answer doesn't lie in uh, pursuing a relationship, which is not to say that a relationship may happen naturally also, but it's different from you. Just any person you meet, you can't immediately project your fantasies and desires onto that person, which is different from something happening naturally. You're not trying to make something happen, but it's happening naturally. So I think the approach of awareness is to recognize this energy जहां से ये सब निकल रहा है. The energy is nothing but a sensation in the body. So become more and more conversant, more and more, what's the word? Familiar with this sensation. Because whenever like you meet a woman, let's say someone attractive, and the mind starts its projection, rather than focusing on that, you take your attention back towards this chest area from where all of this is starting. Just notice what's happening here and keep your awareness in this, because the source of all of this projection and fantasy and whatever, where you're not able to see another person just as another person, but then you project all your fantasies onto the other person, is this sensation of longing, wanting, anticipation, which is getting triggered as soon as you see someone attractive or whatever it is. So focus on this. Yeah, I think that's what the answer is. And that's one approach, which is to focus on this energy, which is the longing energy, the anticipating energy, which is there in this chest area. The other approach is also to practice intimacy with existence. I think we spoke about that in the first session. And what would you understand by that? Intimacy with existence, or oneness with this, or oneness with existence.
Yeah, from what I can recall, I think, and what I understand, Yeah, I think it's just reminding yourself that your existence in itself is, and life in itself is the most fulfilling thing that you have, and just being present to life. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying this very mechanically right now because I'm very far from life. I mean, as I can feel right now.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
So yeah, I think that's really uh, what will get you rooted in your being, if I may say it.
mhm,
The reason you feel that someone will fulfill me or my some external person will, is because you're not rooted in your being.
yeah,
You're not anchored in your being. You're not grounded. I'm using different words: anchored, rooted. Um, and the reason is because there is the identification is with this character who feels, oh, I need love, longing, affection to feel complete.
yeah,
और वो जब तक वो connection with that identification with the thought and the mind does not क्या बोलते हैं, or rather until the attention doesn't find fulfillment in something else which is more wholesome, which is always present, which is always there as nourishing, it will seek to find fulfillment in something external other than itself.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, have you heard of Khalil Gibran?
No,
He's a
the
Lebanese,
writer.
yeah, he's a Lebanese poet.
Okay.
He's written some lovely books, and one of his books is called The Prophet. You
Mm,
can read that. He talks about different things, and one of the things he says, which I find very interesting, is he says when you're thirsty and if you don't get fresh, clear water, then you will drink stale, stagnant water. But you will do something to quench your thirst. Similarly, when we are thirsty for that intimacy, that oneness, you get the feeling that I'm talking about, and we're not able to satiate that, then we will do whatever we can to satiate it, even if it means, which is what like everyone, most young people do, which I have done in my own time, going to dating sites, left, right, meeting people, getting into casual relationships, nothing coming out of it, then again getting into some, and like, which is what is happening. But, and that's the, I would say, the stale, stagnant water, which is not to say a relationship is not fulfilling, but something which emerges naturally, has its own process, rather than you go hunting for it, you start pursuing it. That's a different energy to it. And what's the real clear water is your own being, your own existence. Supposing, imagine, even though, like you're saying, I've not been practicing, supposing your mind stops, your thinking process stops, and you're just sitting. There is no past, there's no future, there is just this existence. There is no person also who's existing, like, okay, I am ABCXYZ. There is just this existence.
mm,
And in that state of existence, there is oneness, because there is no one person existing. There is only oneness because there is just this existence. There's this process of breathing happening by itself, the energy in the body, the life force in the body happening by itself. Now I've closed my eyes because it's sometimes the body when your eyes are closed. But that existence is there even when you are like looking out of the window and just observing what's out there, because that's also part of existence.
mm.
So in this, when the mind is not moving or doing anything, there is just existence. And then there is that feeling of oneness, that feeling of groundedness, that feeling of being. Because the mind is neither projecting something into the future, the mind is not carrying any burden of the past. It just is. And that is intimacy with self. Actually, intimacy with self भी बोलना वो होगा क्योंकि there is no two in that. There is just this existence. There is only oneness. It's like the wave is water. So the more you practice that oneness, the more you are grounded in your own being, which means you'll have to take away your attention from your unconscious thoughts and bring it in touch with existence, which is bring your attention into the present moment. Now, one can call that meditation, mindfulness, or whatever it is. So that's like entirely up to. But basically, the essence of it is that you're disidentifying from your thoughts, which is where the attention is most of the time, because these sensations are creating the thoughts. The more the thoughts, then more the sensation. It's like a loop. So the way to break the loop is to just step back and just observe what's happening. Sometimes you need to just focus on your breath to even observe what's happening. Just slow down. So I think that's what is one thing that could be helpful. If you are the devotional kind, then you can even channelize that feeling of love and whatever towards a divine entity. You can do chanting. You use devotion as a medium to channelize that love and energy. Depending on whichever god or deity you have faith in, then you can chant the name and you can do some chanting, and that also makes you feel fulfilled. It depends on the constitution of each individual. Some people are very devotional, then you can, like example of it is Meera, chanting Krishna bhajans and just so yeah. So I think the first step is realizing that this need, this longing is natural. Yet when I start basing my who I am or my feeling complete conditional to me fulfilling this need to another person through another person, then it's not natural in that sense. Then it has become adulterated, so to speak. So the answer is not in adulteration and trying to look for somebody and seek someone to fulfill myself, because I know that I will, even if I get it, it will not really fulfill. So what's the answer? The answer is that I have to find that completion within myself. Now, how can I find that completion within myself? Is through intimacy with myself. And what is intimacy with myself? Is intimacy with the existence. Just be. Just get in touch with existence. Disconnect from unconscious thoughts and just come into awareness, come into presence. And if you are the devotional kind, then you can even use prayer, chanting to channelize that feeling of love towards a higher self. So I think that's what comes to me in response to what you have shared.
Also,
So
another part of
yeah. What are you saying also?
another part of this is I also feel like I have a lot of love to give to other people. And that's also something that adds to this feeling that
Mm,
I don't know why, but I mean, I find it easier to imagine giving love to one person, I think.
mm,
And imagining, okay, if this is my person, if this is that person who will, I don't know, who I'll be with, then I
mm,
start imagining giving all the love I have inside me that I have to
mm.
give. And then I start imagining that I'll give it to this person. So I mean, that also adds to that feeling, okay, that, you know, then it becomes like, okay, this person will give me
No,
affection and love. And in turn, the love that I feel inside myself that I want to
mm,
give out, I can give to this person. And, that will also make me feel good or make me feel, I don't know,
yeah.
fulfilled in a way. And
No, I get what you're saying. And see, if you get somebody, because at least through my experience, I've realized the love language of different people is different.
hmm,
For you, it could be very tactile through words, through for somebody that their love language could not be that. Their love language would be doing things for people.
yeah.
So the love language also differs from people to people. If you get that connection where you can satiate your need for love in the way you want to be loved, and the other person can all, that's great. But
Hmm.
I think more than great, it is also grace. तो मतलब ऐसा मिल गया ऐसा experience. वो टिक गया तो टिक गया. But um, but I think also, if that's not the current reality, then one need not necessarily stop themselves from expressing love if you have that love in you. Now, what do I
Hmm.
mean by that? Is like, matlab, rather than saying ki only when I find that one person of the opposite sex, and then I will give him or her my full love. I'm talking straight now. It could even be gay, and basically, where there is a more romantic attraction, and you say that I will give my love only to the person I'm romancing. There's so many people around, no? Like there are relatives, family, friends, children, nephew, nieces. Um, then you can even expand it further. There are so many animals, and there are pets and kittens. And right now, when I'm in Dharamkot, I have a cow. Every day I feed the cow, and I like touch it here and then just do some things. And, I just have this connection and with
Yeah.
the cow. And like if there's a kitten, then I take some time out to sort of just, or if I'm going for a walk, if I meet somebody who's walking his dog, then I just take some time out to pet the dog. Sometimes you can just be walking and then you can just experience the trunk of the tree. You can use your, because even that's life. Tree is life,
Hmm.
plants are life. You can touch a leaf and you can still sort of share your love with whatever is around you without having to say, ki, okay, abhi I'm going to be like Devdas, and until I don't find my Chandramukhi, only then. Because even if you find your so-called Chandramukhi, you have no idea how that Chandramukhi's love language is going to be. So rather than keep the storehouse of love, waiting, suppressing, repressing, uh, allow it to express itself. So, in a way, when you have that intimacy with existence, you believe, when you experience the sunlight, you feel, okay, the existence is loving me through the warmth of the sun. When you eat some food which is nice and warm and tasty, you feel the love from existence. When you go for a walk, you experience some fresh air and some lovely sights. You feel that sense of connection with existence. And similarly, you give that connection back to existence through whatever, through touch, through what. You can even talk to a tree. You can even, talk to a plant. I mean, uh, I'm trying to say is I'm trying to mm, broaden your idea of intimacy rather than focusing it on one individual, but
Mm.
intimacy with existence, both receiving, because actually that receiving is and giving is happening all the time. That there is anyway, there is intimacy with the existence, whether you acknowledge it or not. Inhalation is happening, exhalation is happening, you're drinking water, there's excretion is happening. There's a constant engagement with existence, and that is the whole experience of life itself. But we are not acknowledging it, we are not paying our attention to it. We are simply saying, yo, I want only this one person, and then I will feel that connection with that person and love with that person. And because you are making your whole of life conditional to that one person, that relationship ends up becoming toxic, because
Mm.
then there is dependence from both sides.
Yeah.
Mm. So enjoy the fact that there is life, that there is sight, that there is taste, that there is touch, that there is um, and there are so many ways in which one can engage and interact with life. Like when you go for a music concert, just the beauty of the music, now that itself is a mm, lovely experience. So every moment one can be intimate with yourself and intimate with that moment.
Mm. Yeah.
So that intimacy is all the time. It is intimacy with existence and intimacy with life, and life is intimate with itself. Existence is intimate with itself. And it's a question of training the mind, training your attention, which is constantly person focused, which is constantly future focused, which is constantly fantasy focused, to say that come back to presence, come back to this moment. There is intimacy in this moment itself. Come back into being. And let me acknowledge and understand this intimacy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I also want. I mean, when I said that I have a lot of love to give, I want to be able to give it to everyone. I mean, anyone I meet or
Yeah.
whatever I do. I don't want it to be focused or be, I don't know, save it from for someone or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time when you feel that feeling of love, then express it. Whatever, whether it's through touch, whether it's through words, whoever
Mm.
that may be. It may be a person, it may be an animal, it may be a plant, it may be even the sun or whatever. Just and you will feel that connection in that expression.
Yeah.
Mm. And what you're experiencing is not unique to you. It is something I have experienced. It is something I am experiencing, and it is something which almost everybody is experiencing or experienced. So it's not unique to one human being. This need for love is almost there for all of us. But most human beings focus their idea of love only in relation to another human being. So it becomes a very ego based love. It's an individual based love, one individual, and then that becomes a love. And then what can start off with love can also end up in hate.
Mm.
Okay, no, that's not, because there is love, there is expectation, and then expectations are not met, and this, and then there can be blame and judgment, and then there can be hatred. So, and this quite, so it's not really love. What we call as love is really the ego trying to satiate its need to feel special through the presence of another human being. And that is what we call love. And that's because we've grown up using our culture, all our literature and romance and movies and this and that, and it just fuels all that fantasy of that kind of a love.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, and in a way, if really what love is something which is unconditional, which is not based on conditions to be met, and that's
Mm.
really love. Otherwise, yes, in a human relationship, there is a feeling of attraction, intimacy, and there are also bound to be expectation. And then when there are expectation, then there is the need for communication. When there is has to be communication, there has to be an element of trust and willingness to be vulnerable. It's a whole thing. It's not like just okay, you meet and you fall in love and then happily ever after. There is so much more that goes into making a relationship work. Sharing your vulnerabilities, being open in communication, understanding each other, mm, mm, all those kind of things. And I think also realizing that sometimes I'm cut out for a relationship, or maybe I'm cut out to be single. That's also part of the journey. So uh, whatever works, or I'm cut out for another way of relating. For me, the conventional way of relating. So I think we all are very different, and then that also comes through life experience.
Yeah, like in the last session, I mean, in the first session that we had, you said that, I mean, you sort of recommended in a way that I think it's better to just try and stay away from relationships.
I think if you have been in a relationship for some time, then I think it's good to take a break for some time to just be in your own energy.
Hmm.
I'm not recommending that you remain single or celibate or anything like that. That is something you have to check with your own self. But yeah, I think if one has been in a relationship or been in a series of relationships, sometimes it's good to take some time out, take a break.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just be in your own energy. Otherwise you're always intermingling your energies with other people. You're not able to recognize the needs of your own energy. What is your energy saying? What does it want right now? What is it feeling? So I think because it's always focused on other people, it's not able to recognize. So yeah, and I think once you are sort of intimate with your own self, then maybe people can even recognize, this person is not needy, this person is not clingy, and
Hmm.
that vibe that you give, I think what's most attractive about another human being is that that person is self-sufficient, which is not to say indifferent, but emotionally self-sufficient. And I think that's a very attractive quality uh, one
Yeah.
can have. Yeah. Mhm. So, yeah. So the question that I wanted to ask you is, why have you not been able to practice?
I think I've been, I mean, मेरे दिमाग में तो चल ही रहा है कि I should practice, I need to practice, but just every
Hmm,
day I somehow, I don't know, I ignore it, or maybe I uh, make an excuse to myself कि आज बहुत लंबा दिन था और सो जाता हूँ या फिर काम
hmm,
करने हैं ऐसा कुछ. And I feel, I don't know, I feel bad about it that I haven't been practicing.
hmm, hmm,
That's also one reason that I thought that this session would be important, that maybe it will remind me how, how useful it will be, how helpful it will be for me, in just
hmm.
daily life, and just help me to
Yeah, yeah.
connect with
I,
myself.
yeah, I think to begin with, I think especially when you're beginning, you need to take some time out to practice, because when you're doing something, then it's very difficult to be present because your mind is engaged with doing something, talking to someone, and all that. So I think I don't know what's the best time for you, morning or mm, evening, and but I think taking some time out to just sit and just maybe close your eyes, and just be connected to what's happening. And if you feel that you need a guided meditation, then you can go to YouTube. You can get so many guided meditation. You also mentioned you had that app, right? Headspace.
Yeah, I do use it sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can even check my videos. There's always an element of sitting practice in that. So, whatever works for you, I think.
Mm.
Sometimes just listening, like supposing if you like listening to me, then you can switch on my YouTube video or something, and then even that
Yeah.
voice also tends to kind of settle you down. And yeah, I think just grounding yourself in the practice is important. Sometimes just going for a walk, just being close to nature. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'll do
basic.
it. Yeah, I have to start
It's
doing it.
basically reclaiming your attention from your mind, and your thoughts has taken over your entire attention. And
Mm.
then through the practice, you're saying, okay, I'm coming back to naturalness, to existence, to life, to awareness, to consciousness, to presence, whatever different names. And that's how it. And then that's when you feel that connection with existence. And when you feel that connection with the existence, फिर ये जो feeling और sensation है ये chest में, ये इतनी नहीं रहेगी.
Mm.
इसका इसका इलाज यही है कि get rooted in your being and existence. The more you're rooted in your being and existence, the more this will not get created.
Yeah.
Mm. So that's what it is. And even if this gets triggered, then that's also an opportunity to observe the sensation. Okay, now when I'm feeling the sensation of wanting love, anticipation, and whatever, then just sit quietly for some time. Just take some deep breath, close your eyes, bring your attention to this area in the chest and wherever the sensation is, and just observe it until the time it's there. Supposing even if you are doing something and if the sensation is there, then keep some attention on this sensation. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I knew this would happen when I come back to Gurgaon, that everything happening in daily life is going to distract me, or I don't know, so make it hard to just.
Yeah, that's a fact. All the triggers of the whole system sort of evoke those feelings and sensations. That's
Mm.
true. Which is why I really recommend nature and solitude is really very helpful to find your own energy.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think till the time you're there in the city, fine. You still find your spaces. Like when I was in Bombay, I would go for my evening walks, and then even though I'm walking in the middle of traffic, in the middle of noise, in the middle of dunya bhar ka shops and people, my practices, like I used to wear a cap and I would look down and I would still practice awareness. Nobody knows I'm practicing awareness, but I'm walking, but I'm practicing awareness. Even the traffic noise is becoming part of my meditation, that I'm aware that noise is there. Sometimes I look up at the sky, I see the sky, I see the clouds, I see the sun. Now nobody in Bombay is actually even noticing the sky and the sun and the cloud because everyone is busy. So in the midst of the city, I'm practicing awareness till the time I reach the beach. Beach is the only place where I used to get nature. And
Mm.
then my practice of awareness is in walking on the sand and just observing the sea and this the breeze and but वो भी नहीं छोड़ा बॉम्बे वालों ने वहां पर वो सी में दे हैड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक होर्डिंग वो रात को यू कांट इवन सी द सी वहां पर भी मतलब दिस इज द हाइट ऑफ कमर्शियलाइजेशन सो द पॉइंट इज कि हाँ जब तुम्हारी किस्मत में लिखा है धर्म कोट आना और रहना वो होगा बट तुम जहां पर भी हो वहां पर कुछ ना कुछ टाइम निकालो टू डू योर प्रैक्टिस
Mm.
The key is really practice more than anything else. Because if you don't practice, then you are left to the whims and fancies of your mind. Then all these feelings and all of this will the mind will then rule your whole life. Okay. So do you want to do a small sitting practice, guided
Yes, yes.
meditation?
Yeah,
Huh?
sure.
ठीक है. Okay. So close your eyes. Sit comfortably wherever you are. Take a nice long deep breath in and exhale. Bring your attention and awareness to this body. Experience the energy of life in the body. Experience the sensation on the body and in the body. Observe the movement of the breath going in, going out. Observe the movement of the body as you breathe in, as breathe out. And just take note that this whole process of living, this whole experience of life is occurring by itself. There is no person who's doing this. If there are any thoughts, don't fight the thoughts. Just acknowledge them. And whenever the attention naturally comes back into the present moment, then take note of it. In this moment, there is no desire to do something, to achieve something, to become someone, to pursue someone. Just drop all activities of the mind in this moment. Just be alive, conscious, aware, present. And in this moment, just as with this aliveness, with this consciousness, with this presence, everything is complete, whole, full. Abide in this feeling of completion, oneness, and intimacy with existence. Simply to exist is love. Simply to be alive is love. Simply to be conscious is love. Simply to be present is love. Simply to be is love. Life is an expression of love. Recognize that. Wherever the attention goes, just take note of it. Because wherever the attention goes is an expression of life. Be it the sensations, be it the thoughts, be it the breath, be it the body, be it the mind. Everything is an expression of that one life expressing itself through many forms. Remember, no matter where you are, no matter what the time, this experience of being alive and conscious and existing is there all the time. One can get in touch with this existence whenever one wishes by taking a pause or just acknowledging wherever one is. By simply disconnecting, disidentifying with the thoughts and the mind and coming into presence. The more we come into presence, the more we come into awareness, the more we live as life and existence itself, greater the feeling of oneness and completion. Whenever we wish, we can use our mind and our thoughts. But whenever we don't need the mind and the thoughts, we abide as consciousness, awareness, presence, life, existence. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. Slowly and gently, whenever you feel like it, you can gently rub your palms and cup your hands. So, how was the sitting practice?
Yeah, very nice. I felt in the beginning, obviously, I was very distracted.
Mm.
It's been some time since I've practiced, so I could feel that.
Mm.
But yeah, towards the end, I felt pretty connected.
Mm.
It was a very
Yeah,
peaceful feeling. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then once you feel that kind of connection with your own self, your own existence,
Mm.
then it feels very nice, calm, and peaceful. And then you don't feel like opening your eyes because it feels so nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then you begin to trip on yourself. This like then you don't need like you remember we started off with that drug. Oh, it's like
Yeah.
a drug. I need it. That love for somebody and love of somebody.
Mm.
Then your own existence is the drug.
Mm.
This is the most healthiest drug because you don't have to go looking for it from someone else.
Mm.
And so that's the feeling of oneness, that feeling of completion that you experience when you are in touch with your own self.
Mm.
Yeah. And also I think the more evolved one becomes, then the likelihood of you attracting somebody at that level of vibration is higher. You're getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The more immature a person is, then its likelihood of you attracting a more immature person is higher. So you attract people at the frequency at which your own energy is vibrating.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mm. Okay. So what's
Yeah,
your takeaway from this session?
my takeaway, I don't know how to put it, but yeah, I guess not looking outwards is the most important takeaway because, like, in the past few days, or जितना मैं notice कर रहा हूँ, I've been looking outwards for a lot of things, uh, answers or satisfaction or love or
Mm.
comfort, But yeah, I can find it inwards is, I think, the most important reminder. Uh,
Yeah.
So
There's a quote. You need to.
I need to practice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
There's a quote which goes like the only way out is in.
Yeah.
Mm. So yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to share or ask?
Um, no, nothing right now. Right. I'm good.
Chalo, then let's end this session.
Hmm. Yeah.
You want to end the session with a small spontaneous prayer? Mm.
I mean, how do I do that?
However, I'm like generally, I sometimes like I have this small spontaneous prayer from my sessions, which which becomes like a summary of the session. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to sit and I will do this small spontaneous prayer.
Okay, okay, sure.
So you can sit with your eyes closed if you wish, join your palms in namaste if you wish. My dear higher self, help me to realize that the love, affection I seek from someone else comes from a feeling of emptiness and void within me. While it's natural to feel and want love and affection, but to go looking for it because I feel incomplete is adulterating the whole experience of love itself. Help me to find the love intimacy in my own existence through the practice of oneness, presence, awareness, and help me to ground me in my own being, anchor me in my own existence, so that my expression of love is not conditional to one single person, but is expressive to the whole of existence. Seek your grace and guidance in realizing my true self. Om Shanti Shanti. Okay. So with that, we end the session, and I'll see you again whenever we meet next.
Yeah.
Chalo. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.
Thank you.